Join the conversation
on Dubai Eye 103.8. You're listening to Off Script Extra Time with Chris and Robbie.
Join the conversation on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Building up to the 31st edition of the Amiga Dubai Desert Classic. All gets underway first thing Thursday morning. It is Monday night, 22 minutes past 7. We're in conversation. We're in studio with two golfing major winners.
We certainly are. Two major winners in our midst. It is Martin Keimer, it is Danny. Well, just a quick aside to that, Robbie. You are the starter as well this year, once again.
I am the starter, yeah.
So just make sure to say good morning to this fella, boys.
On the first hole or 10th hole?
On the first hole.
Oh, right.
On the first hole.
Robbie
so
Greenfield is
I will
back
endeavour
there.
not to put you off and just try and keep as quiet and as discreet as possible. But guys, it's great to have you in. It's fantastic to have you guys in. We're having an open, honest discussion about all things golf. Alberto's been in touch, big fan of both of you. He just says, no way, Danny Willett, amazing. Have you got a question, Alberto, that you want to follow up with that? He says, Martin, saw you at the Rio Olympics. You were a massive fan of golf getting back into the Olympics. Of course, we're going to see that return in Tokyo in a few months' time. You were one of the guys that kind of came out amidst all the skepticism, and you said, there's no way this can be a bad thing. This has to be a good thing for golf.
Yeah, I mean, I think as an athlete, how can you not want to go to the Olympics? But again, I also said in press conferences before, we got so driven in those sports, you know, Formula 1, basketball, football, ice hockey, whatever it is, and also golf, so driven by money.
Yeah.
You know, it gets in the way sometimes. And I just wanted to feel that atmosphere. I wanted to see the best athletes in their sport. I want to see how they prepare, and I want to feel that that preparation that they put in there, everything. I want us to enjoy all those special moments that they write history, really. And so therefore it was never really a question for me not to go to Rio. On
that subject, can you guys remember the last time a putt or a shot financially mattered to you, and whether that changed? You know, can you remember when you were starting out in just getting into professional golf, when you were thinking, I've got to make this cut to make this check, and money was actually, because we've got a MENA golf tour out here where these guys are plugging away, and it's, you look at them at the range, they all stripe it, they all hit it great, but yet golf is so competitive now, and these guys are going out and making a cut can be the difference between being able to afford a flight to go to another tournament.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah, no, I quite like mine. I quite like my first ever tour event was at Celtic Manor, and I got an invite. I just turned pro, and I needed an eagle down the last to make the cut, and I had to go for it over the water at Celtic Manor. It was freezing cold. It was into, so I've just got it over the water. I have like a 50-yard pitch up and over. I couldn't see it, and pitched in. Made $3.5 grand that week. First ever check.
That was what it was.
First ever check. But just gave you the ability though then to play on the weekend and to see where you really stood. Funnily enough, at the time I obviously wasn't amazing. We finished like 60th, but yeah, it was one of those. At the moment, I had my mum, my dad, brother's wife, just people there, and it was a pretty surreal little moment. It was quite nice.
I love that. That's a real good moment. A lot of messages coming in for both of you. I want to come back to your major successes if we can, because let's talk highs and then we'll maybe look at some lows as well. In terms of your two wins, Martin, because you did them in contrasting fashion. You had a playoff win against Bubba, which I would imagine tested the nerves, and then you had that incredible performance to win the US Open by 8 shots. When you compare them and contrast them, what one gives you the greater satisfaction?
Well, you said it tested my nerves in 2010. It didn't at all. That was a funny thing about that day. That's that Sunday afternoon when I was in the playoff with the 3 holes to go, and at that time I said to my manager and to my caddy, you know, this is how it most likely will play out, because Baba, he can get home. He will drive the first hole because he's so long. So I need to pick up a birdie on the next 2 holes to equal the score or something. So maybe I should birdie 17, and then we go to 18, and then we'll see who makes par or maybe even birdie. So I was not really nervous at all because I was overwhelmed. Afterwards, I reflected on it. I was overwhelmed by the position that I was in because I didn't really realize what I was doing. You know, my goal was to make the Ryder Cup team that week. It was. So
you thought the easiest way to do that would be to win a major?
No, for me it was just important to finish in the top 10. Top 10 secured my spot in the Ryder Cup team, and I never played Ryder Cups before, and it was in Europe that year, so I thought that would be amazing. And then all of a sudden I saw myself on the leaderboard, at the top after 6 or 7 holes, and then I said to Craig, it's amazing. Whatever happens today, it doesn't really matter, because I can say in my career I led a major championship, and then it turns out like this. So it wasn't really nervy. In 2014, it was worse because of the expectations. It was very difficult. The Sunday was so hard to play because I played with Ricky Fowler on Sunday afternoon. Obviously, we played in America. There were not that many fans for me. It's understandable. He's an American guy. He's very likable. And they were very fair, though, but it was very difficult to play because you think, everything is going well. There's no issues. You get up and downs from everywhere. You hit good drives. And then, you need to see the first 3-4 holes. And if you get away with the first 3-4 holes, then you have a feel for the day, and then you can go. And fortunately, the first 4-5 holes, they went really well. And then I could enjoy how well I was playing. It was really, really enjoyable how good I played that week. It was probably one of the best, or probably the best week of my career, the way I play golf.
The 2014 success.
Yeah, in the US Open. Yeah.
Well, you finished at, what was it, 9 under in a course where, as you said at the start, you weren't supposed to be able to really break par. I think 1 under was second place that week.
It was Ricky, and I'll throw a player at you, Rob, because I often poke fun at the fact. Eric Compton.
He had a heart condition, didn't he?
Did he really?
Yeah, he had a heart condition. Amazing story. Yes,
2 or 3 times.
That's right. Yeah, that was incredible. But
always used to get done for slow play, but obviously because he couldn't get his heart rate too elevated. So
wow.
Wow.
And Danny, I mean, the Masters 2016, it was a chaotic, as it so often is at Augusta with the back nine and the things that can happen. They've happened time and time again. Jordan going in the water twice on the 12th. You you'd been playing brilliantly that final day. You would go on to shoot a round of 67. But when your chance came, first of all, you mustn't have been expecting it to have arrived at the point that it did because of where Jordan was. But then you just went into this zone. You just kind of closed it out. You hit this incredible chip on the 17th to about a foot, and you were flawless basically the last 4 or 5 holes. Talk to us about what that going into that zone feels like when there's so many distractions, so many roars, and all that stuff going on around you.
Yeah, it was obviously a strange scenario because we were, basically me and Westy and anybody else that was there were playing for second place. Jordan was so far in front. It was 5 shots in front with 9 holes to play.
That's where the mindset was at. You're thinking, yeah, it's second place I'm playing for here.
5 shots is a lot around that golf course. It just is. I think historically, if you look back at Augusta, nobody ever wins that place from outside the top 18 at any one time in the tournament. I think it's from the last 35 years. So you've always got to be within touching distance of doing it. But obviously Jordan had put a little bit of distance between himself and myself and Westy, and 5-shot lead with 9 holes to go is usually a formality. That being said, Augusta's back 9 is why people enjoy it so much. You've got some really tricky holes in 10, 11, 12 round Amen corner, and then you've got, in my opinion, 4 phenomenal chances at birdie in a row, 13, 14, 15, 16, with how the flags are on a Sunday. I've watched it for years on TV, and you know where the flags are going to be. You've seen shots hit from Tiger, from Phil, from Bubba, from everyone into certain pins, and you know that you can get them if you're in the right places to start with. So, we were just trying to make birdies all day, trying to just keep the foot down and see if anyone made a hiccup. And obviously we'd just finished on 15, and Jordan obviously had his issues on 12. And then, from there it was just nice to be able to actually take that opportunity that I've seen a lot of people mess up in the past, and actually take my chances and really go at it. And obviously made birdie up 16, had a great par save on 17, and then knocked it safely on the green on the last. Because again, once that has been done, you've knocked it on the last, you can then, again, you can make a lot of messes up the last hole. And once we were on the green in 2, it was then a pretty enjoyable walk because I'd basically done everything I could. Apart from holding that putt, there was nothing else that I could do. I just had to then sit and wait for 40 minutes and watch and see.
You've both done a very good job of making winning a major championship seem a bit matter of fact, like you're just out for a stroll with your mates playing the weekly medal. Yeah, it's definitely not that, that's for sure. Watching it on TV, it's a lot more stressful for all of us watching it than it clearly was to play it. It's past, just gone past. News headline time. More from the boys when we come back.
Dubai Eye News
with Etihad Airways. Go your own way with the Etihad
Join the conversation
on Dubai Eye 103.8.